actions. I am responsible for my opportunities.
Thank you. And Sarah's going to do our invocation this evening.
Let us take a moment to pause and center ourselves in gratitude and purpose. We gather here united by a shared mission to cultivate lifelong learners in a student-centered environment. May our decisions and discussions tonight reflect our unwavering commitment to the rights of every student to a quality of education, a safe environment, and opportunity to reach their fullest potential. As we move forward this evening, let wisdom, clarity, and compassion guide our path. May we work together in a service of vision to be an exemplary school of choice for academically minded families. Thank you.
Our first order of business is approval of the meeting agenda for June 2nd, 2025. Is there a motion? Sarah, thank you. Second. Josh, all in favor, aye. Aye. Any opposed? All right. Our first board business is swearing in of our elected board members. We had our spring election just closed recently, and we had two positions, two seats that were open for elected positions, and myself and Nicole Owens received the top number of votes for those two positions. So I've had the pleasure over the last several years to get to know Nicole. Our boys are in the same grade and friends, and so it's been great to get to know her. And we're excited to have you join the board with us. So if you will, please stand. Mayor Allison is going to deliver your oath.
Jen, do you want to?
Oh, we can do it at the same time.
Yes.
Yes.
Sorry, y'all know this.
I'll
Where that works.
That makes so much sense.
Now I'm
Yes.
a friend of mine.
Yes. If y'all will repeat after me. I do solemnly swear
I do solemnly swear
that I am duly qualified
that I am duly qualified,
according to the Constitution of this state
according to the Constitution of this state,
to exercise the duties of the office
to exercise the duties of the office
to which I have been elected,
to which I have been elected,
and that I will,
and that I will,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my abilities,
discharge the duties thereof,
discharge the duties thereof,
and preserve,
protect,
protect, and defend
and defend
the Constitution of this state
the Constitution of this state
and the United States.
and the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Awesome. Thank you. Oh, let's see, did we practice this right? Oh, wonderful. We're excited to have Nicole join us. These elected terms will begin July 1st and run for 2 years. In addition to that, every year we also have 2 appointed positions that we have on the board that come open. And this year, I would like to recommend that the board considers reappointing Kyle Waltz and Debbie Wright to their appointed positions. We've had some discussions and they have both acknowledged interest in continuing their service to HPA. Any other considerations or changes of mind?
How to change it.
All right, is there a motion to, do we do these in separate? Oh, we do separate motions, yeah. Is there a motion to approve Debbie Wright as an appointed board member for July 1 for 2 years? Sarah, thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Kyle, thank you. All in favor, aye. Any opposed? Okay, is there a motion to appoint Kyle Waltz to an appointed board position for beginning July 1 for 2 years? Is there a motion?
Motion.
Good, thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
PJ, thank you. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, we'll go ahead and swear you guys in too.
Come right around. Are you, the right there's good? Right here. And then from a picture standpoint, y'all, however you want to do it. If you'll repeat after me, I do solemnly swear
I do
solemnly swear that I am duly qualified
that I am duly qualified,
according to the Constitution of this state
according to the Constitution of this state,
to exercise the duties of the office
to exercise the duties of the office
to which I have been appointed,
to which I have been appointed,
and that I will,
and that I will,
to the best of my ability,
to the best of my ability,
discharge the duties thereof,
discharge the duties thereof,
and preserve,
and preserve,
protect,
protect,
and defend
and defend
the Constitution of this state
the Constitution of this
and
state
the United States.
and the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations. Wonderful.
That's
All
right.
right, the minutes from April 28th, 2025 meeting, need approval. Is there a motion for approval?
So moved.
Kyle, thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Debbie, thank you. Any, discussion, corrections, changes? Okay, all in favor, aye? Any opposed? Minutes are approved. All right, our June board meeting date has originally been June 30th, Monday, June 30th. It's the fifth Monday of the month because we're meeting here on the first one, so we try to stagger it out to make it fifth. It's come to my attention that that is the week of July 4th, and to be cognizant of anybody's travel plans, we can have discussion of moving that date, suggested to the 23rd, just basically the week back up, being the 4th. However, I understand that there are several conflicts with that date as well. So discussion of 23rd or 30th. 30th? 30th?
I'm out.
I'm not bad, but don't get right
I would say just a suggestion, like our July meeting, right?
We don't have a July meeting. Yeah.
30th is fine.
30th? Okay. Mary Alice, is that 30th still okay with you?
That works for me.
Okay, then, we'll just leave it on the 30th.
For travel.
30th works. Okay, up next is our April 25 financial report. Mr. Massey is gonna join us remotely. I may have to. Did it let him in? Just kidding. Let me see. I bet I have to log on and let him in since he's outside.
He says he's trying.
Okay, that's probably what it is then. Let me, did have this.
I have to,
Speaker's already on.
well, leave your speaker on, your microphone. Leave your mic on and turn your speaker off.
Watch me.
I'm trying. Alright, I don't have, my microphone will not work. I don't see him.
You need to click the bottom there.
Yeah, it's just,
Yeah, it's the
something's
stuff
on
that your
my
computer.
system, yeah.
Are you able to let him in? Is there
Well-
somebody waiting here?
Is that what that, no, that's just two of us that are in. Invited. Did he say anything about,
Something up.
the individual?
Matter window, he said 57 tabs open.
Like it didn't show anybody,
And I'm waiting on this. I'm gonna have to.
waiting.
Yes, the blue one.
Yeah, I guess because Katie didn't create it, it's not gonna let her.
You said the meeting link is not.
Try
We can do
read,
it real quick.
yeah, just try resending it to him.
I sent it again from the meeting here. Problems have happened before. And it's messed up before too, so
You're 100%.
I'm mad about them.
At least you're consistent. We like it.
I can maybe share something as we're waiting for him to get in, just from the finance committee maybe.
Yes.
A lot of work has been done by Stephanie Chance and school management, and I think we are definitely are in a better spot now. We have a reissue audit. You'll hear some things from Chance, but just kind of want to mention that I think we are kind of past what our issues were. And I think that took a lot of effort.
Okay.
So a good job by the folks at the school.
Well, it's not. I hear where it would say like somebody.
Does it have to be the host that lets them in? Are you?
I'm not the host.
Oh, she's
Yeah, the only thing other than you can try is if you want to
Make a new one.
meeting, just make a meeting and send it to him, and then we can figure out executive session in a minute.
I don't know that I have his contact information.
Then it'll copy over.
I texted you, babe.
Can you start giving it to me? Is it Cooper or something?
Yes, Chance at copperadvisors.com.
You got a coach coming?
Okay, do it again.
Chance at copperadvisors.com.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's almost like to pick one. Stick with it.
This morning I had, and it just like kept freezing people.
Did you get my invite, Jenna Jo?
I did. But if you're on there, I don't need to necessarily join you.
Now we're waiting on. You may not have got it yet. He lives in Tennessee.
Sometimes he gets to Tennessee quicker than he gets across the room.
It's gotta go through China to get back to Tennessee. Wait.
He said that was not working either, so he is gonna send us a link.
This is Kyle. Are you able to
Have him send it
get
to
the
me.
meeting? So that's trouble. Probably because there's some air quality over there.
Yeah.
Okay, you're talking to Greg. How about I just didn't know that? Okay. I'll let Greg take it.
He should be emailing you. We'll try working it the other way.
Just wait for it to close.
We'll have to troubleshoot this next time.
Let's shoot back and forth next time.
Well, I've done this several times. We've never had this trouble before.
Yeah.
We've had David in and the auditors.
I think you have to add the video conferencing before you send the invite,
Oh, really?
and it doesn't always, depend on how your settings are, that automatically do it.
All that stuff that they put up for teacher appreciation.
Okay, I got just.
Who's that taking it down?
I thought it was technology.
Was gonna set up.
We'll take it. Is that what it is? Okay.
So we didn't act right. We didn't take care of it. Strictness. Most people approve it.
Yeah. We can make a motion, or do you want to hear from Chance?
On that, I was gonna ask, Kay, did you print the meeting schedule?
I did not,
No, can you pull it up?
sure.
Definitely want, Kyle, or, chance to speak on the, financial pieces in the audit, but our board meeting schedule for, next year, 2025, 26, is, drafted the same as it was this year. It is the fourth Monday of every month, except for November, which is Thanksgiving. So it's pushed to the next week, which is December 1st. And we will not have a December meeting because the last of the month is Christmas. So we'll meet again January 26th. And then again, it continues the fourth Monday until May, same situation. That Memorial Day is the fourth Monday, so push it to June 1st for the technically like May meeting. And then June 22nd, that is the fourth Monday, what we just talked about, moving that 30th. So there is like from the 1st to the 22nd, only 3 weeks, but that does avoid that July 4th week. So that is what the proposed, kind of six with what we've been doing. Any questions about that?
Need a motion for it.
No, we won't adopt it that way. We can change it if we need to. But that's the plan going forward.
There he is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Can you hear us, Chance? All right, we can't
We
hear
can
you.
hear you.
So let's turn up the volume. 1 second.
Do I have my speaker muted?
Say something for us. That's weird. We've got volume on our end, we just can't hear you. No chance you're muted, are you?
Wildfire. Yeah. Real stuff.
We're not doing a report.
We can see you.
Apparently someone does not want us to hear this financial
No
report.
kidding. I know, is this a sign or something?
It is so good. I really want y'all to hear it. Come on,
Nice.
Chad. I got faith in you, girl. You gonna make it work.
Nicole, how good are you in tech? Are you gonna bring some skills?
Chance to fix it.
Because clearly we're lacking.
You hear us now?
He can.
You can't hear you.
He can hear us. We just can't hear you.
So we get a ding in the speakers on our end, we just don't hear you talking. There we go. Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, it's just not coming through the big speakers.
If you go down to the audio, to give you the big speakers of the option.
Yeah.
Go to the speaker, on the icon to the right, and you'll get your choice. Oh, the other, sorry, the other way, to the left. The other end of that speaker where you just heard.
Joe is chiming in. He said, make sure volume output is set correctly within settings.
Oh, is he
Try it
watching
now.
online? See him as fiasco?
I think we are.
Welcome back home.
The Zoom settings.
You can restart. You can restart.
Yeah,
Just time sprays.
Alright, everybody just needs to be real.
You should restart.
all right, try now.
How about now?
Yes.
Geez, it shouldn't be this tough.
Chance, thank
Great financial report. I don't know why it's so tough to get it going here. Can you all hear me okay?
Yes, Chance, thank you for being here with us tonight. Yeah, if you wanna go ahead and jump into April financial report, let's hear it.
Okay, we're gonna jump into the April financial report. Okay, so for April, our, April actually looked very strong. Gross revenues for April was above 1.4 million. Our total expenditures for April were less than 1.3, which yielded a positive net revenue of $156,000. One of the things that I'm doing and focusing on this year as we approach the end of the year is looking at not only what are our monthly results, but our year-to-date results. And our year-to-date results through April 2025 or fiscal 2025. If I take into account some of the accruals I know we're gonna have to post at the end of the fiscal year, we're looking at landing at somewhere around a 1.13 debt service coverage ratio. So very strong month in April, strong year-to-date so far. We do have a couple of things we're gonna have to look at in May and June. One is our 135-day count was just posted, and we are gonna see a revenue reduction because of that. However, what I based that 1.13 on is essentially the school basically breaking even for the closeout months of May and June. And if we can do that, we're gonna land above the 1.1 requirement for our debt service coverage ratio. Now, as far as available cash, the school, as you know, we're monitoring debt service coverage ratio and also days cash on hand. The school's available unrestricted cash at the moment is about $5.7 million, a little above $5.7 million. That's up $250,000 from the end of the prior audit after we got the audit restated, which I guess we're gonna have a conversation about in a few minutes. But that's a very strong unrestricted cash position, which has the school somewhere in the 130 to 135 day cash on hand range at the moment. Again, the only challenge that I'm seeing right now that we're gonna have to ensure that we're watching fairly closely for May and June closeouts are gonna be the fact that we're gonna get slightly reduced funding because the 135 day count numbers.
Thank you for that, Chance, that is good to hear. It's always nice to hear when they say positive. Any questions for Chance on that?
I was gonna ask, and it might be for, Brian and the management team, is there anything coming in May and June, or in June, anything that's happened or will happen that you think would be in our thinking?
Now, we're pretty much not spending anything right now. The only thing we're worried about is the accruals for the extra payroll that Chance talked about, but he's already figured that in, so we're pretty much not spending anything right now.
Chance, the best you can.
Right, and again, just to kind of piggyback on what Mr. Sherman just said, one of the things where I've seen some schools get into trouble is you're looking all year to date and seeing that you're going to meet your debt service coverage ratio, but if we don't take those into your accruals into account, then you're basically looking at 18 payrolls versus 20 that we should really be looking at. So we've already factored those in. I've already factored in all the interest and principal that we're going to expend in fiscal 25. And we actually may end up getting better than a 1.13 because as we approach the end of the fiscal year and of course the audit, we're going to be having conversations about what items we may have in our P&L that can be added back as part of our capital outlay. So we'll start looking at that as we get later on into June and get a solid number for that figure, and then we may end up landing above the 1.13, maybe more like a 1.15.
So I see construction going on in the front office. That would be a capital expenditure, all of it?
Yes, most of it would be yes.
What do we have going? What do we have going on in the front office?
Construction project.
Renovation of the front office.
Renovation.
Yeah, typically we can have that as long if it extends the life of the building, we'll have that as improvement other than building or maybe just some type of renovation capital outlay item. So that will get added back for your purpose of your debt service coverage ratio. And you've got such a strong cash position that, if you have anything like that that needs to happen prior to the end of the fiscal year, we really want to worry about things that are going to be more operational expenditures in nature, because those will not be able to get added back. And we want to make sure, since we're going to be so close, that we do meet that number. And we've actually budgeted for about a 1.3, 1.35 for the next fiscal year.
For the board, Chance is working on figuring out, what the form documents are gonna look like to present each month. I would encourage you, if you have any particular info you wanna see each month, any particular numbers, or kind of what you may be looking for to make sure that you're seeing each month, email that to Teresa, so that she can work with the finance committee to make sure that Chance is getting that to us every month, to make sure that we're looking at. Any other questions on the April financial report at the end of the year? We're looking good numbers to finish up with, which is good. All right, thank you for that. Moving on to the amended audit report. Chance, do you mind speaking to kind of the work that you've done to get that put together?
Sure.
That helped out?
Yeah, I didn't know if, do we have the auditors there? I can't see anything on the screen.
No, it's just us.
Okay. Yeah, no worries. Let me, I'm actually going to pull up both audits side by side so we can just kind of look at them. I can probably speak about this in my sleep. It was such much work. Let's see. Okay, I'm going to pull up side by side and I'm going to share my screen so we can kind of look at both of them. We're only the statement of
Well,
the
and Chance,
statement of financial position, and then we're
Chance,
going to
let
look
me go back
at.
just a little bit. To start with, you all are aware of the, the change in software and things that we transitioned over, with FY24 started, and had some numbers basically that were not accurate and how they were reflected in the system to start with. So that information was what was originally sent to the auditors, and it just didn't reflect our actual position. So that's why once we got that straightened out of having accurate numbers, that's why we've gone back and gotten the restated audit. So that's where he's speaking to now of why we have this.
Right. And I'll go kind of over what we did initially, and then we'll look at both the audits kind of side by side. So let me share my screen. Can everyone see my screen?
Not yet, it says you there.
Yeah.
Can you see it now?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So we'll start with the original audit over here on the right. You can see there are a few things that did not change. Overall revenue did not change. However, for our instruction support services expenditure items, those changed rather drastically. You'll see our principal didn't change, interest didn't change, capital outlay. Really, the two biggest items are in our instructional expenses and our support services expenses. Now, originally, the audit, and we'll also look at the balance sheet impact of this, but originally what happened is as of June 30th, 2023, there were two payrolls that were included and that were accrued as of June 30th, 2023. In July of 2023, so the start of your fiscal 2024 year, the July 15th and the August 1st payroll were included in expenditures instead of offsetting the accrual. And so that was kind of masked at the end of the year. There was there were a few things that were done, and it just kind of was masked in terms of how the auditors were looking at the overall liabilities. However, when I dug in and found that, that's what reduced. So when we're looking here at our net change in fund balance, that's more or less like your net loss for the year of 1,253. That goes to, a shade over $515,000, and that $700 and some odd $1,000 difference there is what caused the debt service coverage ratio to go from a 0.73 to a 1.11. That was the largest item where those items, but where they also found themselves, where they also impacted the balance sheet is, you'll see there's nearly, what, $860,000 more in our cash and cash equivalents as of June 30th, 2024, in our updated restated audit versus the prior year audit of 4.5. And that's really what led to the investigation was pulling down the trial balance, seeing the seeing the more or less operating cash the auditors were using when they prepared the audit, and to see that that was so substantially different from the bank statement without reconciling items to kind of true those two back together. That's what kind of led to, okay, we probably have substantial items that are either duplicates or items that are posted that haven't actually left the bank. And so that's what led to the days cash on hand being much more robust at $5.4 million. And that's what I talked about a little while ago. The school's at about 5.7 now, so like $284,000 more than where they ended the fiscal year. So very strong cash position at the end of the restated audit, and a much better overall, we kind of call this like the net loss. But if you take this and then, just so everyone knows, the way the debt service coverage ratio is calculated is, for this school, is you're going to take whatever the change in fund balance here is, and then you get to add back several items. The items you get to add back are capital outlay, you get to add back the interest, and you get to add back principal. And then when you take this and then you add these items back, you're going to divide by your principal payments and your interest payments. So when we did that calculation, the school ended up at about a shade above a 1.11, which actually met the debt service coverage ratio and the requirement as part of the bond covenant. And with $5.4 million, the school was actually at like a 132 days cash on hand, which is well above the 45-day requirement. So those are really the largest items that changed were cash and cash equivalents. You can see how that a lot of these items stay exactly the same. Now there are the accrued payables and accrued expenses line item did change slightly, and that is because I reran the accrued payroll at the end of the fiscal year and changed just a couple of items around that just to make sure that I could tie it back to numbers and tie it back to the support. So that changed slightly, but largest items were the overall operating cash and these expenditures here for instruction and support services. But the restated audit has now been filed, and I believe we've also posted that up to Emma. The Moody's has it, so everyone, the investors have seen it. So it was we kind of had a presentation with them where we explained what we're going to do to try and fix everything, and then having the restated audit that actually tied back to the dollar to all of our numbers at the end of the day, I think made them feel much more confident and secure about the future of the school.
Great. Any questions on the restated audit? Would you need a motion to approve? How should it be restated audit? I'm going to amend it on here, but it should be restated. It's restated. Okay.
Restated.
Okay, is there a motion to approve the FY24 restated audit? I heard Josh, and a second, Kyle. All in favor, aye? Aye. Any opposed? All right, Chance, thank you so much for that. I know that was a big undertaking for you and your team, and we really want to thank Stephanie, Mr. Sherman, Gray, and the rest of the school for all of the support, all the support to make sure that we got to where we are. It was a lot, and it's really good to hear a lot of positives come out of all of the hard work and effort. So I want to thank you all for that, and the finance committee also. All right, we've already gone over the meeting schedule. Chance, we've got a few more things to go over, but then we'll circle back with you somehow or another in executive session.
I just want everything to leave it at.
So if you want to have, Gray, if you just want to shoot me a text, I'll send over. You can actually join the same meeting invite. I'll just leave it open.
Okay.
If you want to do that.
Okay.
When we go to executive session.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, thanks everyone.
Close out, we'll just join back.
Okay.
running on over the meeting schedule. Thank you all for that. And our superintendent's report.
This is a fascinating report. We'll start, we didn't have anybody to award tonight, everybody's out of town, so we didn't have any kids here tonight. We didn't have any parents to dismiss, but, we'll go forward, we got our quote for the day. I'm a big Teddy Roosevelt fan myself. He actually said this in 1910, at a Paris conference. I always like this big stick policy.
Yep.
But we got a lot of critics, more critics than visionaries in our society today, if you haven't noticed. Moving along. Some important dates for you. July 17th will be our new teacher orientation. I think we have about 6 new teachers, 6 or 7. Our new teacher orientation is July 17th. August the 6th, teachers return to work. Katie, do you have a schedule we can show them?
I mean, I have the schedule, I just didn't have it in the slideshow.
Okay. Well, all right, anyway, there'll be a breakfast that morning. The board is welcome to come. Our arts program will be our speaker. We're going to have some of our kids and teachers perform as something different this year, not a speaker. That will be 8 o'clock on that morning. If you want to come to breakfast and be a part of that, whoever the board chair is will have an opportunity to speak, or whoever the board chair chooses to come. We'll have somebody from the board say a few words at that meeting, but if you want to come to breakfast and come for that first, I think we're done by 10:15, breakfast in the opening meeting. And so if you want to come that morning, you're more than welcome. Just let us know if you plan to be here. Meet the Teacher is August 11th, and then August the 13th is the first day of school. Katie sent something out on Parent Square today. Got a list of all the stuff, everything parents need to know about supply lists, schedules, the school store, all that went out. Katie and Joe and Gray also sent out an email today to all of our registered students, just to make sure that if they didn't get the Parent Square message, they got another message that shared all that information as well. So all that is coming. First day of school is the 13th. And Meet the Teacher is August the 11th. So we're kind of excited about that. We've got our first week scheduled together. On July the 8th, I will be sending a back to school letter to the teachers, as well as their their first 5 days of school. And I'll have Katie send that to board members as well on July the 8th. So you all have a copy of that. Go ahead, move on. All right, next up is 5th grade is heading to the Barrier Island. By school board policy, you have to approve this 90 days out. If I wait till the August meeting, I won't have time. So before you is a Barrier Island trip for our 5th grade at the Barrier Island Environmental Education Center. Kelly, would you like to speak a little bit more?
Sure, we're very excited. They have some spots available, so I grabbed those quickly, and we are offering this trip. If you remember, a few years ago, our district sponsored Kids for Camp Leopold, and we were not able to go there again because they were redoing and having construction, and we did not find out that still apparently is not posted and open for schools to go to. So we really wanted to have that kind of camp feel. So Barrier Island has some spots open this year. So we are going to go in October 22nd through 24th. That's a Wednesday through a Friday. So after today, this has not been announced to our students yet, but after hopefully approval today, we will start announcing it, and families can start signing up.
We've gone to Barrier Island before, haven't we?
Not at High Point.
Not here? Okay. You're right, it
It
was
was
Camp
Camp Leopold, and this is on the coast. It is a little bit different. So they do a lot with the ocean, animals.
It's a similar
The
program.
mud, it is very similar, yes. Everything is included, food, boarding, the classes. They have certified naturalists that teach their classes as well. So we go there, and I believe they have 4 or 5 one-hour class sessions with their professionals, as well as some free time. So there's lots of learning that is going to go on there as well. But it's very similar setup to Camp Leopold.
That is a good trip. I know my stepson went on that to Barrier Island 20-some years ago.
Yeah, lots of schools in Spartanburg County go. It is pricey. It is $350, but it includes everything. There is some financial assistance that will be available. I've already spoken with PTO about that. And we do have a fundraiser idea that we've already submitted on the form. And for that, that some teachers are gonna help us with. So, and then I talked to Ms. Hopkins today about setting up the QR code to make the payments online a little bit easier. So hopefully, I know it's kind of a quick announcement and then money due, but if this goes well, we can go ahead and reserve and start
Yeah.
next year and have more time in between.
If I remember right, when my stepson was coming up, it was a sixth grade. They were sixth graders in elementary school, but that was something that like sixth graders look forward to. Like when you were in third grade, fourth grade, like you were so excited because you were going to get to finally go to Mary Island for sixth grade. So that would be really cool if we could create a continuing field trip for those fifth graders.
That's the goal.
Okay, this is item B on our school business agenda, field trip approval. The recommendation has been to approve this fifth grade Bear Island field trip. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Sarah, thank you. Is there a second? Second. Josh. All right, any questions from staff or Mr. Sherman? Discussion? Comments? Okay.
Will they be taking the school buses or?
No. We
I
one
was all like,
of two. No, 2 charter buses. I already have those reserved. That's hard enough to get around Spartanburg. We have field trip plans, I know.
Any other questions, comments? All right, we have a motion and second for the field trip approval. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right,
Thank you. I will probably send this out tomorrow.
great.
All right, moving on. Honor code, the board and I discussed this a while back. We weren't quite ready. The honor code is based on honor, integrity, and service, and incorporates rights, respect, and responsibility, something that the board has really wanted to have. It's just designed to support our discipline code. We can apply it broadly, and it adapts to changing circumstances, i.e. the whole thing of AI that has come upon us out of the blue. I think this was sent out to you all earlier to look at. Katie, can you pull it up on the screen? So this is a copy of the honor code. You have a copy in front of you. We tried to really stay true to what High Point had been doing: rights, respect, responsibility, honor, integrity, service. And we have spent quite a bit of time nitpicking this to get it down to this, and we would like for the board to adopt this document.
We should have to work on that. So this is something that we have talked about to put in place for kind of giving us that foundation for everything else that we teach.
Every kid will sign it, and then we will also put it on the school website.
We're gonna start with, is there a motion for approval of the honor code or adoption of the honor code? Motion. Debbie, thank you. Is there a second? Yes, Sarah, thank you. All right, any questions, comments, suggestions?
So this is broad, and it doesn't have consequences necessarily, right? So that gives us the flexibility in the management of the school to work through individual circumstances.
Most of it can tie back to the handbook. If we made any changes that would affect the handbook, then the board would have to approve those too. The board has to approve the handbook. So we tried to make it broad enough to stay out of the weeds with that.
Understand? Thank you. Is there anything that the parents need to be involved in the signing of this place? Or?
Oh, I'm sure the little ones, the parents will have to be involved.
Sure.
The older kids, it'll be given to them. Most of the parents will know about it. It'll be on our website. So I think parents will be very well informed. The ones that come out here will get a copy of it. It'll be on our website as well, if it's adopted. So we will push it out. We'll get kids to sign it. If nothing else, it's just something for them to think about.
Any other questions, comments? All right, we have a motion and a second for the honor code adoption. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Moving on. Changes for 25-26 school year. We're going back to one handbook. We divided it out between the 3 schools. We're gonna go back to one handbook. A rule change is we will no longer be wearing hoodies at school. We will no longer be selling them in the school store. Too many problems with kids putting them on, having to get them take them off, wearing improper clothing under them we couldn't really see. So hoodies will no longer be around. We won't be selling them in the school store. They'll no longer be a part of what we can buy. Open enrollment day. We want to start the lottery December 1st through January 31st. If you look in the bottom corner, Green Charter started 12/1 and it ended and had their lottery on 2/7. Libertas did the same thing. They had theirs on 2/4. We had ours on 3/25. We feel like if a kid applied in both places, and they hear from one early in February, and we don't do anything for 6 or 7 weeks, we may be losing students. So we have suggested this change, and we go ahead and do this. And then in February, we will also start the kids who are already here, their registration as well. We did that a little earlier this year, and we feel like it really helped us out. So we want to do that as well. Open house will be on January the 20th of next year. And then the lottery will actually be February the 2nd. And we will open the lottery on December 1st through January 31st. We will take them after that, but for the kids who signed up, they will know automatically if they're in by the 1st of February. So we're not behind 6 weeks other schools.
And with the way that we're doing the applications, if you're gonna be ready, you're gonna have a turnaround from January 31st to.
Yeah, I double checked with Joe, and he said because it's all electronic, it's just pushing a button.
Yeah.
That's why there used to be that gap from March 13th to the 25th, was we had to hand do the lottery and hand print the letters and get all that sent out. But now that it's on the computer, it's.
Okay.
Joe in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
The clothes can
Yeah.
can have it ready. So
Really about the main thing we have to do now is every now and then a 4-year-old will get entered in for kindergarten. We have to go back and check birth dates.
but other than that, it's pretty simple.
That's good.
So those are just some changes for you all to look for not to vote on, just things to look forward for 25-26. Next slide, please. Some celebrations. All 3 of our schools, elementary, middle, and high, that was part of our strategic plan over the next 5 years. We got it in year 1, but all 3 schools, our project Lead the Way Schools of Distinction, we're one of about 5 K-12 schools in America to have that distinction. So really looking forward to it. Looking forward to doing more with Project Lead the Way in STEAM in the future, integrating that into our curriculum more. But for now, that's a great way to start. If you walk out that door, you'll see we're updating the reception area as we speak. They did a great job today. Today was their first day, and they demoed about 90% of it. They've already started framing. So they did a real good job today. Graduation rate right now sits at 97%. We had 82 and 80 graduated. Now, Tucker has checked his roll every year when a 9th grade enters, they get a 9GR field. Tucker has scrubbed the rolls several times. On our end, we think we have 80 out of 82. Sometimes the state screws up and puts somebody back on your list. If our information is correct, and I'm 99% sure that it is, unless the state is messed up, we feel like we will be at 97%. And those 2 kids are in summer school. Is that correct, Tucker?
Yes, sir. Technically, legally, they have till August 15th.
So we could be 100%, depending upon how they do if they finish. But that's a really good place to be as a graduation rate. The good news, other good news is we are fully staffed. We have 1 theater teacher to hire. We have 2 really good candidates. I've got Mary Allison working on something we have a guy who is in another county, a couple counties away, who is moving and wants to come legally. I think he can, but we're trying to be nice about this. But hopefully by Tuesday or Wednesday, one of those 2 will sign a contract and we'll be fully staffed. And now some really good news. Moving on to registration numbers. As of About 4:30 this afternoon, we have 88 5K students. We have 1,255 completely registered. That's 47 more than last month when we met. We have 71 returning students who are not registered. After talking with my principals, I think 30 is a very conservative number of people we feel are going to come, which we feel like that puts us at 1,285. Some will come, some won't. Some others that we don't know about will come. We feel pretty confident we'll start the year between 1,270 and 1,290. That's great. We're hoping that we'll end the year at about 1,230, 1,235. All above, we budgeted for 1,215 next year. So all of that would be above what we budgeted for. And as Chance said earlier, we feel like we'll come in at about a 1.3 on 1,215 with our budget in its current form. So that'll be some money to sit on. Joe created this thing for me because I wanted to be able to look by grade level, by school. So Joe updates this every day. He updated it at 4:15 for me because I asked him to. But we're sitting at 1,255. You can see right now we have 557 in elementary, 332 in middle, and 366. We have, Tucker feels like we got 25 high school kids that are going to still be with us next year. So those numbers could even go up more. We don't know. We're trying to be conservative. We don't want anybody to false hope. We'd rather promise little and over deliver. So we feel pretty confident that we're in a pretty good spot by the numbers based on what we see. And that's about, right now, I bet when we ended the school, we had about 510 in elementary, 515 maybe. So I think the Ridge Media, the going after the elementary kids, Katie doing a great job of corresponding to people as soon as they got into the lottery, we think has really helped us with those elementary numbers. New Family Days on Wednesday, May 28th. We had 87 new families come who had signed up to come. And they came to our school, met some people, filled out some paperwork, had a really good time. They got tours, principals, guidance counselors, walked them around. It worked out really well. We think we're going to do it next year, maybe even expand it a little bit. And on Saturday, I want Kelly to talk about what happened on Saturday.
Now, we had talked about it a couple of months ago that we wanted to have a new kindergarten day, and we had it on Saturday, and it was fantastic. We had 55 new kindergarten families that came on Saturday to learn about kindergarten so that they're ready for the first day of school. I met with parents in the library, and while the parents were in there, the teachers took all the kids to the kindergarten hall. They read with them. They had play areas and centers set up, and then they pulled kids one-on-one and did some little assessments to find out kind of, where they are. Can they go ahead and write their name? And then the teachers were thrilled with it. They loved it, and they stayed afterwards and went ahead and made rosters. But the presentation included going through the day of an HPA kindergartner. So I forced parents to watch the video of drop-off, how to drop off, and all the way to how our car line works at the end of the day as well. And then talked about schedule and just wanted them to be prepared, because looking back on the videos, we showed them about our curriculum. Y'all heard us talk about YouFly. Well, the videos that I had to pull showed our kindergartners learning how to write the letter K for the first time. But then I was able to say, wow, this is where they're going to start, what we're doing first 9 weeks. But by the time they're done, they're reading text with 2 and 3 sentences, and they're independently writing 2 and 3 sentences. So we grow a lot in kindergarten, and I wanted them to be ready for that. And plus, we went ahead and gave them forms that they needed to fill out, get ahead on our car tag forms, so that when they come to meet the teacher, they're not wandering around like, what do we do now? They really bring their supplies, they meet the teacher, and they're ready for school to start. But it was a great day.
Our kindergartners, they go to 2:45 too.
They do.
And you're all day.
Yeah, it's all day.
Yeah.
It is. And it was an extra touch in the top left corner that Ms. Hurst made sure that our front entrance looked wonderful for guests walking up. So I really appreciate it. It was all hands, anybody who wanted to volunteer. It wasn't just our kindergarten team. We had some other teachers that said, I'll come and help. I can, do whatever we need to. So it was very good, and I'm excited for us to continue this. And I've had some good feedback from some parents too. And some who, there was a mixture of kids, parents who have kids that have already gone through kindergarten and then a younger sibling. And you can just kind of tell that they were glad to hear about things and start over. So it was well worth giving up a Saturday for.
We will do that again next year. I don't know if we'll make any changes, but we will definitely plan to do that again next year. I thought it was a great day for us. We may even do it a little earlier in the year if we can get more kids focused at that point. But a great day on Saturday. Had a lot of staff here. It went from 7:30, 7:45 until about
I think we
2:30.
walked out at 2:30. We had 3 different sessions families could sign up for. We only had 8 families that came at 8:30, which turned out to be a blessing because that was kind of our trial run for the teachers, and they did not like the way they did it, so they revamped it. And the next 2 had about 25 families each, and that went great. We had an in and out within an hour.
That's really good, because that's a key group of parents that you really want to let them know we care about them, we care about their student.
And it was eye-opening to go ahead and see, and for our teachers to be prepared for some.
Yeah.
We had a few criers,
Yeah,
so it was good to already know that.
that's good.
And we're gonna work with those teachers that will cry.
But then you also heard a lot, well, I'm not ready to leave. I mean, we got a lot of that too, so
They were excited
the
to be
kids,
here.
they really enjoyed it.
And that concludes my fascinating.
Wonderful. Any questions for Mr. Sherman? Just want to say congrats on the Project Lead the Way school distinction. That was something that we're really excited about, and to be able to promote that.
Principals worked very hard to incorporate as many as they could, and
Yeah.
and it worked out. And in the future, moving that STEAM into integrating it more into the curriculum is a plan. That's something we're going to be doing in the next year or two to reach our 5-year goal.
There you go. Any other comments? All right. Any public comments?
No.
Thank you. All right, we need a motion for executive session. We have some pending contractual matters for discussion. For a motion? Sarah, is there a second?
Second.
PJ, thank you. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
All right, we're in executive session. We'll do about 5 minutes. Thank y'all.
Yeah, they did.